welcome to an exciting episode of Cricket Predicta brought to you by 1xBet, Mumiki Infrastructures, Delhi NCR. Today, we are talking about two of the important matches that happened last night, but more importantly, the upcoming match as well. But let's start the discussion between the nail biter match between LSG and KKR, which came out to be so close that the difference of margin was just 4 runs. Mitchell Marsh and unbeaten 87 by Nicholas Puran proved the LSG edged out the Kolkata Knight Riders in that 4 run defeat. The match was played on Tuesday at the Eden Gardens, where Lucknow posted a massive 238 for 3 in the stipulated 20 overs. In return, Kolkata managed only 234 for 7 in the same number of overs, falling short by just a whisker. In the second match, Punjab Kings, yes, returned to the winning ways against the original Kings, the Chennai Kings, by 18 runs and handing CSK their fourth defeat of the tournament. The match took place at the backyard of the Punjab Kings, and these guys looked out of sorts, the Chennai team. The match took place at the Mulanpur, where Punjab set a strong total of 219 for 6. In reply, CSK could only manage 201 runs for the loss of 5 wickets. Conway played a fighting innings for Chennai, but Punjab's bowlers, Ferguson, who took 2 wickets, Yash Thakur, and Maxwell, yes, he started claiming the wickets as well. More importantly, let's look at our focus for today's game. In the 23rd match of the IPL, Gujarat Titans will take on Rajasthan Royals at the Narendra Modi Stadiums at Ahmedabad. Remember, Narendra Modi Stadium pitch looks like a belter but won't proceed more than 170-80 odd runs. Shubman Gill is leading the attack for Gujarat Titans, while Sanju Samson will lead the Rajasthan Royals. So far, Gujarat have won 3 of the 4 matches in this edition of IPL. On the other hand, Rajasthan Royals, with 2 wins and 2 losses from 4 games, find themselves outside of the top 5. Well, we have 4 of the eminent guests joining us today. Let's welcome our guests. Welcome to the show, Paul. Paul, you're our opening person for discussion, our opening critic. Let's understand CSK's fallout. They were comfortably placed when Punjab was at 83 for 5. Suddenly, they find themselves at 219. It's like staring at the barrel of the gun and just looking at the eventuality. And that's what happened last night with the CSK. Paul Dinette, your views.
Well, the one thing that Punjab had in their favour at 83 for 5 was that it was only 8 overs had been bowled. So they would have known that wickets aside, they were on track for a highly competitive total, especially given that CSK's chasing record is not very good. And it kind of always happens at this point that I think that the fielding captains need to be braver. They need to get extra fielders inside the circle because they knew, well, they should have known, that for a couple of overs, there would have been a period of that all Punjab were trying to do was to consolidate. And as aggressively as Arya had been playing and as aggressively as Shashank Singh later did play, for those 2 overs, one bowled by Jadeja, one bowled by Ashwin, they were just content to push it round. And I think that's where that was a key little point. And then when they surged again, then fielding became crucial because Chowdhury took that catch but stepped on the rope, and that really should have been the end of Arya, which would have seen a different complexion on the game. And then we saw a similar situation a few overs later when Arya did get out and Jansen came in, that again Punjab were okay to just consolidate for a couple of overs, and then we saw another drop catch, the Skyer, that was put down as well. So combination of fantastic batting by Punjab, especially Arya, a little bit of defensiveness on the part of Gaikwad, but every captain's kind of the same these days, and some fielding lapses, and before you know it, the massive total was scored.
Well, IPL is known to throw big names, new names who are becoming the big superstar and taking the baton. Priyank Sharya's batting seems to be something of a thing that has come from rags to riches story. Just in the 4th IPL, he scored a century. What is your view, and what do you make up of him as a top-order batter?
39 ball 100. It got me thinking how, for a long time, it was Shahid Afridi who'd scored a 37 ball 100 that was the fastest 100 ever in one-day internationals, and that stood for ages. And it always seemed to me I couldn't fathom how someone could score that quickly. Now, of course, we've had even faster hundreds in the IPL even than this, but still, to see a 39 ball 100 is quite remarkable, especially in someone so young. He got that good 47 or so in the first game in his debut against Gujarat. Ricky Ponting obviously is impressed. The fact that they got into a bit of a bidding war going for him, that he's described him as, very special and very exciting. And you look at his T20 record, albeit brief, including 6 sixes in a T20 game, but to have an average of 35 and a strike rate of 175 across all T20s so far is very impressive. Now, yeah, he had a bit of luck, got dropped a few times last night, and you just never know how these things are going to turn out. There's been plenty of times in the IPL and other tournaments that someone's arrived with a massive burst of excitement and maybe hasn't panned out quite as amazingly as we thought. So let's see. But at the moment, it is yet another example of a very exciting young Indian player.
Paul, before we let you go, it's an important question that begs to be answered, and we need an outside perspective. Do you think CSK is lacking the killer instinct that they were known for? Yes, the CSK.
Well, in some ways, and not that it'll be much comfort for them, I think that they actually showed a bit more intent in this chase than in the past. A little bit of killer instinct coming back. I mean, the fact that Dhoni came in at number 5 and started swinging right from the start was a very welcome sign. And their decision to retire out Devon Conway was, I thought, also indicative of the right thought processes. It was a little bit interesting in the lead up to that how he got dropped twice and then a missed run out opportunity. And, it was almost like the fielders were under instructions to deliberately not get him out. I'm sure that wasn't the case, but sometimes I think sides should do that. And then CSK responded by retiring him out. They probably waited too long, as is often the case if you do retire someone out. Kind of by the time you've got proof that it's the right time to make such a sort of a harsh decision, you've almost waited too long. So they probably needed to get him out of there earlier. But I think ultimately, anytime you get 200 odd in chasing, you can't be too critical of the batting side of things. But there are, plenty of other concerns for CSK, and sitting now 1-4, it's not looking good.
Thank you, Paul. That was Paul Dinnett, who joined us from Sydney, Australia. We also had Stanley Chiodza, the man who's a coach himself, based out of Dubai, and he's going to talk about GT's progress for the tournament and the upcoming match tonight. Stanley, welcome to the show. GT has completely dominated head-to-head players battle against the Rajasthan Royals. Will they have that additional edge and advantage when they go in and play in that particular match today?
Sunil, thank you once again for having me on the show. It's certainly heating up in the IPL, isn't it? Well, it's a fantastic match we've got on the card today. Gujarat Titans versus the Rajasthan Royals. Gujarat Titans obviously playing at home. The head-to-head record is such that Gujarat Titans, yes, strong. 6 matches, 5 victories. That's a moral strength. That's a moral victory. And these are the off-the-field battles. That are there thanks to history. So obviously the Gujarat Titans definitely hold an upper hand. But importantly, when you then look at these two teams, these are two teams that are coming off some victories. So these are two teams with momentum coming into this encounter. And Gujarat Titans playing at home, they've got a fantastic venue that gives them options in terms of which conditions to use. Do we go with the black soil? Do we go with the red soil? What's our bowling attack now in terms of how can we effectively use it against the Rajasthan Royals outfit? But the good thing about the Rajasthan Royals, when you do look at these, when you do look at how they've performed at this venue, they do have good standing. They've played 16 matches and they've won 10. And whereas Gujarat Titans, on the other hand, have played 18 and won 10 as well. However, for Rajasthan Royals, interestingly, they've only lost 5 matches there. So it's quite interesting in terms of how Rajasthan Royals have fared at this venue. So hopefully they can put aside the head-to-head performance and look at how they've done on this surface prior to this encounter. They've done well, so they can use that to their advantage and hopefully come up with a victory. Both teams have got some fantastic bowlers who are actually in form. So it's a tricky situation when you look at the spinners. Both teams have got some fantastic spinners involved in this match, and I'm looking forward to see the battle of the bowlers as they take on good batting units that are also in form.
Well, it's the Narendra Modi Stadium at the Ahmedabad, and it's known for big scoring, but at the same time, the teams chasing the runs have seemed to be getting the favors for winning more matches than not. What is your assessment of the match today? Will the toss decide the fate, or we'll have to go down to the end?
So Neil, the one thing about batting friendly surfaces, the one thing that they're well known for, and which any team playing on those surfaces can appreciate, is that they don't really change. A batting surface remains a batting surface. There's consistency in that aspect, whether you're batting first, whether you're batting second. But the one thing that I've noticed about Ahmedabad is that generally a lot of teams like to err on the side of caution. Red soil, black soil, you're not really sure what the conditions are going to do. We do know generally that the power score is above 200 batting first. So you're better off winning the toss, bowling first. So you assess the conditions and how they play. So you've got a much better plan when it comes to chasing down a total at Ahmedabad. And I think obviously Gujarat being at home, Shubman Gill, he's a master of these conditions with over 1,000 runs in T20 cricket at this venue alone. So obviously with the batting lineups that they have, I'm sure Rajasthan Royals will be severely hurt in letting someone like a Joss Butler having to go and playing them, against them on a surface of this nature. Yes, they've got the artillery. They've managed to get a good fast bowler in Jofra Archer, and if that form continues, it could be quite a handful. But then again, when you do try and see the way Joss Butler plays, he likes pace. He likes pace. He's not only a hard hitter, but that touch game also does come into play where he uses the pace of the bowler. So I'm looking also forward to see some matchups here and how they go about it being used on this surface. But up and above that, I still feel winning the toss, bowling first is still a very much a good option, and then you chase as the game goes on.
Right, right. Moving on to our third question, Stanley. Stanley, when you have two opponents, one is a contender, the other is a champion. In this case, both teams are coming off consecutive wins in the last two games. How would you see this particular advantage on to both the teams?
So now I'm so tempted to call this fixture the thriller in Manila, the Muhammad Ali versus George Foreman kind of affair. These are two teams that are coming in to this affair with momentum. Winning is all about momentum. Yes, they've gone about it differently. Obviously, Gujarat Titans, having had that momentum a lot longer, lost the first one, have had it for three fantastic victories up to now. Whereas with regards to Rajasthan Royals, yeah, they've had to do a lot more work. Lost the first two, and just regrouping and coming back together to win, to register two fantastic victories thereafter. Obviously, when you do look at it and you break it down a bit more, the majority of the runs for Gujarat Titans have been scored up the order, 70% of them. Their top three batsmen in good nick. And they've got a good finisher in Shafane Rutherford. I've had an opportunity to work with this guy. He's just a cool, calm, collect individual. You don't even know what you're going to get out of him, and he just shocks you. That's how good he is. Whereas when you do look at Rajasthan Royals, the majority of the runs have had to be hard work in that middle order. The top order hasn't had it going as much as they would have liked. So it's a challenge to this team to say, if we can get runs up the order, and then with the good work that the middle order has already been getting, we've got a good push to put in a big total. And then obviously when you do look at the bowling sides, and I think these are fantastic bowling sides in this match today. Rajasthan Royals, led by Jofra Archer. That is the Jofra Archer that comes into the party today that we saw in the last match. Then I'm sure it's going to be an interesting affair versus Joss Butler. Although we know Joss Butler likes to use pace, he's got a good record against Jofra Archer. But Texana, Hasaranga, these two spinners have been fantastic. They're in the wickets column. Hasaranga doing the majority of the job in that middle period. He's been fantastic in not only taking wickets but slowing down the run rates. Flip side, Mohammad Siraj, back in form, bowling up high at 140k plus. I think he's a relieved bowler. I think he's at ease, he's at peace, and he's just doing what he does best. Rashid Khan. Are we starting to see a decline in Rashid Khan? I don't think so. I think this is a phase that every player goes through, and I think he's just rediscovering himself. But up and above that, Sai Kishore has been more than happy, to shoulder some of that responsibility, and I think he's a good pick for Gujarat Titans. The fact that he doesn't really depend on conditions. He's a sly bowler. He works with what he has, and he's done a fantastic job. So, once again, I'm really looking forward to a fantastic thrill in Manila on a high scoring wicket.
That was Coach Stanley Chiozza talking about the team, the head to head between the teams. Now, getting more into specifics, I'd like to invite another former Indian player, Noel David. Noel, how much impactful is Shubman Gill going to be for this game, considering that his brilliant record at his home ground at the Narendra Modi Stadium? Your views.
Of course, Sunil, it's going to be a Shubham Gill show today on this ground because he loves this atmosphere out here at Narendra Modi Stadium. He loves the wicket. He loves the ground. He's been, since 2 years appointed as the captain. He knows the impact what he plays on this ground. People love him. People expect him to always perform on this ground. I think it is the atmosphere which he loves a lot because the people love Shubham Gill. If you see at the ground, his posters are put up. So I think, his impact will be a major one for GT. In 20 innings in IPL, he's got 1,000 odd runs at the average of 55 with two century, 126 being his highest in IPL. Overall, if I talk about, he's got 3,000 odd runs with four centuries at the average of 66 and a few 50s to follow overall. I think this itself shows how much he has a liking towards Narendra Modi Stadium. Uh, and I think RR will be sure sure about it and know about it that what kind of player Shubham Gill and what will he bring to the table on this venue itself. So I think today it is going to be Shubham Gill show and it'll be a great impact today on this game. And I wish that he gets 100. That's what I feel. Love to see him getting 100 on this venue, and take GT to the next level.
Right, right. Before we let you go, there's another question I'd like to sneak in, and this is about Rajasthan Royals. We can't let Rajasthan Royals go off in this. Their head to head records against the Gujarat Titans seems to be a little on the downward side. Do you think it's going to play on the players' mind when they take on the field today?
Feel RR will feel the pressure, considering the head to head this thing against Gujarat Titans. You see, and they know that Gujarat Titans are playing the best cricket during this IPL. They know that they have the best bowling attack with Mohammad Siraj with with great form, the way he is bowling. They know that Shubham Gill, Sai Sudarshan, George Butler all are in great nick and they are winning matches. So at the same time, RR also should be knowing that it is important that they beat GT to stay alive in this competition. Yes, it's only four matches what they have played and they only won two out of four, but if they want to climb the top points table, they need to win this game against GT. It's not going to be easy. It's going to be tough because the way RR is playing, I think GT will have an edge over them. But this is T20 format. You can never say two good knocks or two good spells will change the course of the game. So let's sit and watch what RR will do against GT, since it is GT is home ground and they know what Shubham Gill brings to the table when it comes to his favorite ground, Narendra Modi Stadium.
Well, let's welcome a fast bowler and ask him a straight question about the fast bowler. Christopher Mopofu, the former Zimbabwean fast bowler, joins us. Chris, what do you make of Jofra's head to head battle against the Gujarat Titans, considering he's played very well? for Rajasthan Royals in the last two, three games. Your views, Chris?
So, on this one, Shubman Gill versus Jofra Archer. Rajasthan Royals against Gujarati Titans today. For me, this is going to be an exciting encounter. Why do I say so? Because of these two. You're talking about Shubman Gill in superb form. We saw him in the last game taking his team all the way to victory. And you've got Jofra Asha who didn't start very well. You say his first two games will not be the best games that he can ever have, going for 77 in his first game. But what a bowler he is. He had to come back and he's been bowling absolutely magnificently lately. So when you're looking at a player like him, you say to yourself, yes, I've got the right weapon. But that right weapon is bowling to the right batsman, and that is Shubman Gill. So when you're looking at this head-to-head a record between the two, I'll say Jofra Asha at the moment. He is leading on that one. He has bowled about 13 balls, bowled to Shubman Gill. He's taken him twice. Remember that, and there is about 7 dot balls out of those 13 balls that he has bowled to him, and he has only hit him 1-4. So when you're looking at that, only 1-4 from Shubman Gill, and he has taken him out twice, and with an average of 4.5, a strike rate of about 69, and unlike Shubman Gill. So if I was to choose today, who say that I say who's going to come out on top, Shubman Gill looking good after these past few games that he's played, but so is Archer. Archer is at the top of his game as a bowler at the moment. The rhythm looks very good. So at the moment, if you asking me, I'll say Jofra Archer to come on top of this one, but not saying that Shubman Gill is not going to perform. But against Archer, I'll say that Archer is the one who's going to take.
Well, talking about head-to-head battle, we are talking about Joss the Boss Butler. He seemed to be running out of favors in this edition of IPL. Hasn't shown brilliant spark, but his head-to-head against Sandeep Sharma seems to be quite an intriguing battle. What is your view between the two, the great batter and another one, an old IPL bowler, fast bowler?
On another interesting one, Butler versus Sandeep Sharma, the veteran Sandeep Sharma, who's done quite well in IPL in the past seasons. We know how good he is. He swings the ball very well, and that could have been something that would say it's an Arsenal against Butler getting someone to swing the ball. But when you're looking at this record, it doesn't look like that. At the moment, I'll say Butler is winning this contest very comfortable. Why do I say so? Butler has faced about 40 balls from Sandeep Sharma, and he has scored about 87 runs. Yeah, you got me right. 87 runs, and he's taken him out once in all those 80, in all those 40 balls. So you're talking about almost 7 overs of Sandeep Sharma bowling to Jos Butler, and he's only bowled 11 dot balls, mind you, and he's hit him about 5 fours. And when you're looking at this record, it's not only fours that Butler has scored, he's actually hit more sixes than fours, hitting Sandeep Sharma. He's hit him about 8 sixes with a strike rate of 217. That's quite a lot. And when you're saying that, that's a lot, because the average there is averaging 87 against Sandeep Sharma. So if you're asking me, who do you think is going to come on top? Yes, Sandeep is bowling all right, but at the moment, I think you're looking at it and saying Butler has won this a little bit more mentally, because he's only taken him out once and he has scored quite a lot of runs against him. So on this battle, I'll say Jos Butler to continue to being the one that wins this battle.
Well, exciting head to head. Before we wrap up the show, we cannot let go of Yashasvi Jaiswal, yes, and against Mohammad Siraj. Mohammad Siraj seems to be coming back in the cordons, getting some good wickets. He's purchasing pace, bounce, troubling the batters. Do you think he'll trouble Yashasvi Jaiswal tonight?
So Jaiswal, the great left-hander, versus Mohammad Siraj. Oh, another tricky and beautiful contest that I'm looking forward to on today's game. When you're looking at this record head to head between these two, Siraj has bowled about 32 balls to Jaiswal, and he has scored 40 runs out of those 32 balls, and he has taken him out once in those 32 balls. The good part here is that he's bowled about 11 dot balls to Jaisal, who's normally attacking, who's normally quite good. He's hit him about 5 4s and 2 6s with a strike rate of 125, an average of 40, which is quite good. But the strike rate, you think maybe it can go a little bit up. But on today's one, if you're saying choose one that you think is going to come on top on this one, I'll say Siraj. Why do I say so? Jaiswal hasn't hit his mark as much as we want him to do. He's looked like he's there, but we know how good he can be. On the other side, you've got Siraj. He's swinging the ball, he's bowling with good pace. And his confidence, he's just taking accolades like they're out of business. As you looking at him, he's been bowling absolutely tremendously. Stayed at RCB for almost 7 years. You're talking about that. And he comes to GT, the way he's been bowling, it looks like he's just got better. That's what I will say about Siraj. So I'll say Siraj to come on top of this contest. And he's one man that if you're looking to get a wicket, he's the man to watch on this game. Siraj to come on top.
Well, that was an exciting edition of Cricket Predictor brought to you by 1xBet, who make infrastructures. This is Sunil Yashkalra signing off from the beautiful Marbella Resorts in Sharjah. Don't go anywhere else. We'll be back after a short commercial break.
For more such videos, subscribe to the Newsx YouTube channel, hit the bell icon.